This is Rob Tubbett for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, joined once again by Shane McGuigan. We're down here at the lovely new McGuigan's gym in London. Shane, how you doing?
Good, thanks, mate. Yeah, busy weekend and now in chilling/working.
Work never stops, does it? You've just had two guys out and you've come back in today. You've seen Daniel Dubois in here, Lawrence Okolie, the Azim brothers, always busy.
Yeah, exactly. We're obviously here today. There's been a press sort of release today for Daniel's fight on August 29th, which I thought was August the 28th, which I found it very strange that we're boxing on a Sunday. But then obviously Lawrence is boxing on the AJ card as well, September the 25th. So he's starting to ramp up his camp, and the Azims are, in a learning process.
Now, we've caught up an awful lot lately, even for us. We've caught up an awful lot lately, so we'll just, a bit too much. Get sick of the sight of each other at the minute. But anyway, Daniel Dubois, we'll talk about his opponent who's been announced, Joe Cusumano. How much do you know about him, and how much, if at all, do you think he'll test Daniel Dubois?
Well, I've seen some videos of him. He hasn't got many notable wins, but his last fight was a good knockout. Against, you're going to have to remind his name,
Gregory Corbin.
Corbin, that's the one. So yeah, I mean, it's going to not really a step up from Bogdan Dinu, but it's still another live opponent that actually genuinely wants to win. So it's going to be a nice, it's a different process from going out to America for the first time. He hasn't boxed abroad since since he was an amateur, but the good thing is he was on GB. He was on an international amateur, so you get that used to that process of going away, staying in sort of hotels and fighting on different time zones. So that's something he's going to have to overcome. It's good that we're doing it at this stage rather than at the top level.
Boxing on a Jake Paul undercard. Bit of out of left field, that one. Even for boxing, Daniel Dubois, Jake Paul. Anyway, how did that come about?
It's Showtime, which is a fantastic channel, and they know how to do things. They know how to do things right. So it's a great opportunity, and also the fact that Jake Paul draws in such a different audience is going to be great, because hopefully Dan puts on a great show. Hopefully it's not too early. If it's like 3-4 rounds, if he gets 3-4, maybe 5 rounds, but has a spectacular knockout, that's what I'm looking for. But different audience, different country, big drama show, and that's what we want, mate. You know what I mean? That's it is different. It's different, the fact that he's out here, he's out, going to be down the card. Oh, boxing on Jake Paul show, but you can't really discredit that because he brings in such good numbers. He's also taken it upon himself to train properly. His brother sort of played at it, but actually, BJ Flores has been your mate, he's sort of like relocated to train him, and at least they're doing things properly.
Anyway, Daniel Dubois, all being well, obviously Joe Cusumano is, with all due respect to him, not somebody who we were envisioning Daniel having a tough fight, a rock'em sock'em fight with. All being well, he comes through that unscathed. I'm assuming the plan will be at least to get him out sometime quite soon after that.
Yeah, hopefully he comes through this one with no lumps or bruises, and he gets a big fight at the end of the year. That's what we're looking for. I'd love the Trevor Bryant fight. That's for the WBA regular title. I think there's a big step up in class after you get, there's the Elite Three. There's the Wilder, Fury, and AJ, and people will say Wilder's not on that elite stage, but he's been a world champion for a long period of time. You've got guys like Andy Ruiz that won it and lost it. Joseph Parker won it and lost it. They're still really, really challenging fights. You've got Dylan White there as well. You've got that got the Elite Three, then you've got about 5 or 6 heavyweights underneath that are really, really capable. I'm not sure Trevor Bryant falls into that category, but he holds a very relevant belt. So if we can win and hopefully get that fight, and because he's the interim champion, if we can beat him, then we hold power. Then we can box the guys like Joseph Parker, Dillian White. Big fights that people can get up for, and people can say, look, you're potentially the underdog for. or even the Joe Joyce rematch. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be loads of opportunity, but it would be nice to hold some form of relevance because it's still a version of a world title. Yes, it's not the super champion, and you're not boxing for all of the belts and the undisputed sort of title, but you're still boxing for a world title. You're still holding a lot of relevance, and it's going to draw a lot of big fights towards us. So hopefully, Frank can get that over the line, and we can stage that before the end of the year, because then we can go into 2022 with some serious momentum behind us.
Obviously, saw Daniel today do 6 rounds on the pads. How are you getting on with him? How pleased are you with his progression so far?
Yeah, look, it's. I don't want to change. Like, he does some stuff amazingly well, and he's extremely heavy-handed. He's got speed. He just sometimes sort of pops out shots that he's like, sometimes he doesn't really set shots up well. So that's what we've been working on, a little bit of head movement, using his legs to also track in rather than just moving your head, then moving your feet, trying to merge it all together. But he's been boxing a long time, and he's got some ingrained patterns. He's got some great ingrained patterns and some bad ones. So like gradually, slowly does it, but he's able to digest the information. It's just sometimes he loses position. So we've done a lot of work. We didn't do much work before the last fight, but we've done a lot of work since. So hopefully, he's going to put on a fantastic performance. He showed a lot in sparring with me recently that he's picking things up. Done 2 sets of 6-rounders last week with Lawrence. He sparred a big Kazakh before that. So, he's improving all the time, and hopefully we can showcase that.
Sticking on all things Dubois, Caroline Dubois, somebody I know that you've had in the gym in recent months. She's now fighting for a medal in the Olympic Games. How much have you watched of her? How impressed have you been with her performances so far? Yeah,
I thought her last fight against the American was a good win, because that girl was world number 3, fast hands as well. So she did really well to get that victory. So she's now fighting for a position. She's fighting for a bronze, or to guarantee herself a bronze in this next one. I think it's at like 3 in the morning, tomorrow morning. So I'll be keeping an eye on that, and hopefully she can get through these next couple of fights and win a gold.
Shane McGuigan, as always, real pleasure. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Catch up with you sometime soon, although probably not too soon, because we probably need a break from each other at this point.
Indeed, let's go get some lunch.